Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into something really important. How do we build workplaces that don't just get by, but actually help people thrive? We're going to connect the dots between some major findings from the World Economic Forum and McKinsey and mix in the science of happiness to create what's called a positive organization. That's a workplace that literally generates energy instead of just sucking it out of you. So let's jump right in.
Okay, let's start with a number that should make everyone sit up and pay attention. $11.7 trillion. A huge report recently came out, and it said that's the economic potential we could unlock if we had a genuinely healthy global workforce. I mean, this isn't just about feeling good. This is one of the single biggest economic opportunities on the planet right now.
But here's the flip side. Despite that massive potential, the reality is that 22% of all workers are showing symptoms of burnout. That's more than 1 out of every 5 people feeling completely drained, cynical about their job, and just ineffective. So what is going on here? Why is there such a huge gap?
Well, that's what we're calling the trillion-dollar disconnect. You've got this incredible potential value on one side and the pretty grim reality of burnout on the other. You know, closing this gap isn't just some feel-good HR initiative. It's a massive business opportunity.
This chart really puts it in perspective. You can see that only about 57% of people say they have good holistic health. Meanwhile, that 22% are actively in a state of burnout. And what's really crucial to understand is that this isn't hitting everyone equally. The data is super clear that women, young people, and other vulnerable groups are often bearing the brunt of this.
So, the big question is, how do we bridge this enormous gap? The answer isn't another meditation app, I can tell you that. It requires a totally new, strategic role right at the center of the organization, the Chief Happiness Officer, or CHO.
Now, when you hear Chief Happiness Officer, your mind might go to pizza parties and ping pong tables, but that's not what this is about at all. Think of the CHO as a catalyst for a deep cultural change. Their job is to build an entire system that actually generates health and performance by weaving together data, what the business needs, and the science of what makes people tick.
And this role isn't off in a corner somewhere. The CHO is a strategic leader who has a seat at the executive table. Their whole purpose is to bake well-being into the DNA of the business strategy itself, so it's not an afterthought, but a core part of how things get done.
And this isn't just some vague mission with a nice title. It's a very structured approach. The CHO works from a clear, actionable blueprint that's designed to systematically build a healthier and way more productive organization.
So these are the 6 core principles that guide everything a CHO does. First, they lead a deep diagnosis to figure out what's really going on. Then, they design enablers, things like psychological safety, to create the right environment. Next, they actively reduce stressors by tackling the root causes of burnout, not just the symptoms. They ensure coherence, making sure all the company's systems are actually supporting well-being. They support leadership, helping turn managers into a positive force. And finally, they promote a culture where all of this can actually stick and grow. Okay, so to bring those principles to life, the CHO uses a really powerful toolkit that comes straight from positive psychology, the science of happiness. And these are not just abstract ideas, they are practical, hands-on tools for building a better place to work. The first tool, and honestly the most important one, is psychological safety. This is the absolute bedrock. It's that shared feeling that it's okay to be human, to ask for help, to admit you made a mistake, or to throw out a wild idea without being afraid you'll be shot down. The reports couldn't be clearer. This is the single best defense against the toxic behaviors that lead straight to burnout.
Next up, clarity and autonomy. You know, burnout loves chaos and confusion. The CHO works with leaders to make sure everyone knows exactly what their role is and, this is key, that they have a real sense of control over their own work. This is a direct antidote to some of the biggest energy vampires in any company.
We're social animals, right? And work is a deeply social place. This tool is all about building quality relationships. The CHO's job is to actively create a sense of belonging, trust, and real support among colleagues. When people feel connected, the whole system just becomes more resilient. And finally, this one is absolutely critical: leadership by example. Your managers are the bridge between the company's big strategy and what your day-to-day life at work actually feels like. No change can happen without them. So the CHO's role is to train, coach, and support leaders so they become people who generate energy, not drain it.
And when you use all these tools together, the result is something like this. It's an environment where people naturally help each other, where they feel supported, and where everyone is working towards success together. It's a huge shift from a place that just feels transactional to one that feels truly relational.
Okay, now let's go one level deeper.
To make all of this stick for the long haul, the CHO combines the science of happiness with another really powerful idea: the management of our 4 core human energies.
Think of it like this. The science of happiness tells us what we need, the ingredients for well-being. But the 4 energies framework gives us the how. It's the operational structure for managing our capacity to perform at our best. The CFO's special skill is fusing these 2 things into one practical system. This table shows you exactly how it works. You can see how each piece of our well-being is connected to a specific energy source and a real-world action. So, for example, creating a sense of meaning at work, that directly fuels our spiritual energy. And you do that by making sure people are clear on the company's purpose. Or how about building quality relationships? That fuels our social and emotional energy by creating belonging. The CHO's job is to manage all of these energies like a complete ecosystem.
And when you get this alignment right, when well-being and energy are working together, this is what you get. You don't just have a happy office. You have a dynamic, creative, and super collaborative engine for innovation and high performance. It's a total game changer.
So let's pull all this together. This whole approach isn't just about putting a Band-Aid on burnout. It's about systematically unlocking the incredible human potential that's probably just sitting there, dormant, in your organization.
Remember where we started? With those key messages from the big reports. Number 1, holistic health is the #1 driver of productivity. Number 2, you have to fix the root causes, not just the symptoms. And number 3, for any of this to last, it needs leadership buy-in, you have to measure it, and it has to become part of the culture.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. The Chief Happiness Officer is the only role that is specifically designed to do all of this. They are the integrator, the one person who connects the systems, the culture, and the leadership to make a better workplace a measurable reality.
Because in the end, this is the goal. This is what it all comes down to. A positive organization is a place where your work actually gives you energy instead of just taking it away. It's a place that supports you mentally, physically, and socially, so you can do your best work and genuinely thrive. So I'll leave you with one final powerful question. Think about your own job, your own team, your organization. Does your workplace generate energy, or does it consume it? The answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about how much potential is just waiting to be unlocked.